Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. In our previous tutorial, we had discussed about how to store some data value against a definite scope object with the aid of some properties to create a definite model and to display the same into the viewable section, that is the browser of our project. Well, in this part, we are about to see how to store multiple set of information against a definite scope object to create a definite model. This is the first task, and in the next case, we will be seeing how to fetch the data and to display it into the viewable section of our page, that is into the browser. As we can see right over here, we have successfully fetched all those set of information and displayed them into the view section, into the browser right now. Now in the first case, we need to store all those multiple information into a single place and then store it against a definite variable name, and in this order, this is the first time we will be using a definite file format which is known as JSON format. So what is JSON? JSON is the abbreviation of JavaScript object notation, and it is an open standard and data interchange format that uses human readable text to store and transmit data objects consisting of attribute value pairs. So whenever we will be talking about JSON format, the first thing that we will be concentrating on is the attribute and the value format. So this is what JSON format actually does. It stores multiple information in the form of attribute and value, and we are practically capable to store multiple data within the same JSON format as an array and then make useful purpose along with it. So this is the attribute 1, value 1. In the next case, we may store another set of information here which will be regarded as the attribute 2, value 2. In the similar process, there could be a third one which will be known as attribute 3, value 3, and all this set of information can be stored as an array against anything that we want. So this is the JSON format that we will be using into our project right now. And how to do it? Let's hop in. So in the first case, we will be now creating a variable which will be known as details, and in the first case, we will be creating an array. Now we will be inserting some kind of information into this particular array as an attribute value pair, and in doing so, the first thing that we are going to do, the name of the attribute here as been chosen by user, that means by me, will be the first name, where we will be storing a definite name like this. In the next case, we will be creating another name of the attribute, what we'll be naming as, for say, Kulkarni. And in the last case, we will be mentioning out the age here, which is 32. So we have practically built the first set of information regarding a definite person as Ramesh, whose last name is Kulkarni and aging 32. Similar manner, we will be creating another set of information for a different man here who should be known as Mahesh, his last name is Dubey, aging 30. This is the second case, and in the last case we will be possibly creating another set of information here, and we need to mention the comma. If we do not mention it, it will be resulting into an error. So here comes the last one, who is known as Suresh, for say power, and who's aging 30. So we have created three separate set of information here. Now all we are going to do, we have created this variable name. Now let's attach this data object, that means this whole set of information here, along with the scope object that we had used earlier. So this is the most obvious thing. We need to create the model to display the view into the browser section. This is the most important thing that comes next. So we will now, first of all, using this scope object here. Next, we need to create the property name, which is known as details, and here we will be using all the data information that we had created so far. So all this data information, those practically stored against this definite variable which is known as details. So we had used that variable name once again, and we had stored it against the our details property name that we had created all by our own. This is the part up to which we are done right over here into this custom script.js file that we had created. Now let's move on to this index.html, and here first of all let's create the table. So we will be mentioning that the table comes here.